You're listening to The John and Heidi Show. Now, featuring the wit and wisdom of Dan Ferris.
Okay, dudes, let's walk this sucker.
On Sunny 93.3.
It's the John and Heidi Show. Bonus hour.
Please.
Happy Halloween.
Oh, jeez.
I told Dan said, don't you dare. I said, we're going to do that the whole day. And he's like, no, we're not.
Oh, John.
I'm on my own.
Seriously, you make me want to guzzle water from Camp Lejeune.
Wait, that's bad, isn't it?
It is. It is Halloween. It's also National Magic Day, which just makes sense, I guess.
Absolutely.
We'll be getting into like favorite and least favorite candies, that kind of thing this morning.
Yummy.
And some other wicked cool stuff, too. Who was born on Halloween?
Oh,
All the
Pretty
people.
big celebrities. In fact, some of your faves. Eugene Maurice Orowitz was born this day.
Oh.
We simply called him Michael Landon.
Oh, really? That was his name?
Sure was. Eugene
Wow.
Maurice Orowitz. Nice. He was Lil Joe Cartwright on Bonanza. He was Pa.
Hey,
I was
Pa.
on the prairie. Pa. And was it Highway to Heaven, which AC/DC did a song, the theme song. for
They
that.
did.
Something,
It was fantastic.
Something like that.
Theirs was a highway the other direction.
Here we go. And John, your spirit animal, John Candy, born this day.
Isn't that great?
Del Griffin would have been 72. Holy cow, passed away 1994. It's been
43.
that long.
It doesn't seem
43
like it,
years
though,
old.
does it? Yeah.
Holy cats.
Yeah.
Oh, unbelievable. And Robert Van Winkle, born this day 55 years ago on Halloween.
Which was...
Vanilla Ice, baby.
Going to be seeing him soon.
Wow.
Vanilla Ice, baby. Yeah.
hanging out.
That's major hits, including Get With It, Ninja Rap, Rolling It in My 5.0. But let's do a little dramatic
Here
reading,
we
shall
go.
we, from the 1990 classic, which, by the way, he wrote when he was 16 years old back in 1983.
Really?
Our little ice, ice, baby.
Really? That's how old he was?
He
That's
wrote that at
amazing.
16.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
True story. Okay.
Sure had some legs for that age. Holy cow.
To the extreme, I rock a mic like a vandal, light up a stage, and wax a chump like a candle. Dance. Go rush to the speaker that booms. I'm killing your brain with a poisonous mushroom. Ice, ice, baby. Vanilla ice, ice, baby.
That's beautiful.
Thanks.
I love it, Dan.
And happy birthday to Robert Van Winkle.
Yeah, that's great.
1941, this very day, Mount Rushmore monument designed by Gutzon Borglum is completed.
Nice.
Really?
Yep, I have been in South Dakota now 35 years.
Never seen it.
Never seen the joint.
That
We're
makes
gonna-
me sad.
It makes me
We're
sad.
going to
make
be
you go.
okay.
We're
going to
gonna
be
make
okay.
you go.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It's on my bucket list. Do not see Mount Rushmore. So far, so good.
Wow.
It was 1846, the Donner Party, unable to pass what is now known as the Donner Pass, construct a winter camp, and start working on a new cookbook.
Yee. Yee. Oof. Oof. Interesting choice of protein.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
87 made camp, 48 walked out.
Wow. It's a brutal winter.
1975, EMI Records releases the Queen single Bohemian Rhapsody.
Yeah.
Then in 1992, listen to this very day, Pope John Paul II proclaims Catholic Church erred mightily in condemning astronomer Galileo for holding that the Earth was not, in fact, the center of the universe. The Pope actually cited lyrics from Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody.
Really?
Galileo, Galileo Figaro, Magnifico.
Wow.
There you go. I know you
Wow.
know. We all know. Just bounce ahead.
We're going to do that. It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Mr. Dan Ferris.
In good times and not so good times, it's a good idea to be responsible when it comes to spending. At bettercreditcards.com, we're excited to see our friends like you get a better credit card to fit your needs. Some people like cards with the lowest possible interest rate. Others like cards with no annual fee. And some people like cards with points and perks to take advantage of all the extras available. Whatever you're looking for, we hope you find it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com.
Thank you for listening to Sunny 93.3 on Halloween. It is a spooky day today. I've got Brent Baker joining me. You're not wearing a costume. Wait, you got the best costume ever. You are a realtor, so that's a good costume. Nailed it.
Yeah.
So we're going to talk today about some spooky stuff. It's really not that spooky, but we're going to talk about some reasons that maybe your home doesn't sell, because that could be kind of scary. You put your house on the market, you want to sell it, and think about how scary it'd be if, oh no, it didn't happen. Or maybe you're trying to buy a house and the thing fell apart. These are all things that are not great, but there are typically some reasons that kind of stuff happens, aren't there?
There are a number of things that can happen, and sometimes you have a buyer that's just simply nervous, looking to get out of a deal. Sometimes they have a legitimate reason. Some of those reasons might be centered around an appraisal, which can be deficient in one of two manners. One is the financial. And financially, it just simply didn't appraise for the amount that was agreed upon in a purchase contract. Now, that could have been due to a bidding war and it got out of hand, or somebody just simply wanted to make a strong statement and made sure they own it. Yeah. At the end of the day, it still has to be appraised if it's being financed. Yeah. The other way an appraisal is deficient is physically. So it might be missing downspouts. Maybe the gutters are hanging, or we have a cracked window. Sometimes we have legitimate problems and concerns that might be structural. And understand that the appraiser's not the bad guy.
Yeah, exactly.
The appraiser is there to do a job and make sure that the bank isn't lending more than what that home is truly worth. Yeah. And as a buyer, you're a secondary beneficiary of that, because now you're not paying more than what a bank would lend on.
Which you don't want to be in that position either. You don't want to be paying more for a house than it's ever going to be worth it, because that'd be a scary place to be too, wouldn't it?
It is. You know, it's one thing if you absolutely have to have a house in a particular area and it has to be this type of home. Well, that's your choice. Yeah. You know, but you're probably a cash buyer at that point. But in the current market, you know, where home values are softening, and in some cases maybe retracting a bit. Now we have a little different scenario at play. Now the appraiser's trying to find out what's it worth at this time. Yeah. It can still be deficient physically, but before the appraiser was trying to get it accurately as possible in an increasing market. Yeah. Now the opposite is at play.
And it's not always the appraisal. There are some other reasons as well, aren't there?
There are. You know, nobody wants to pay too much. We run into other factors that can come into play, and some of those, and we'll just start at the ground level, foundational flaws. Yeah. Maybe there's problems with the foundation. It might be shifting. It may have some cracks, and having a crack is not a bad thing. It's knowing the difference between a crack that is a moving problem where the foundation is actually still shifting, or if it's just a minor settlage crack. Concrete's going to crack. Yeah. I don't care if it's cement block or poured foundation, but it's being able to identify the difference. What is sometimes advised and usually advised is that a seller get the home pre-inspected. Yeah. While that has an expense tied to it, it will identify things that could be a flag to other people. Now you have the opportunity to correct them. You also have the opportunity to pick the contractor who's going to do it and not be at the mercy of who's available and paying whatever they say.
Exactly.
But moving up from the foundation, it could be an electrical issue. Yeah. If you have an older home that is still using fuses, there are certain types of mortgages that don't want fuses. They want it on a breaker box. There is a particular brand.
Federal Pacific, I'll bet.
There you go.
I remember hearing some ads about that.
So, yeah, it's a company long, long gone, but I've listed houses where we've had to change out the breaker box before we went to the market. Yeah. Because it's going to be a problem. But other issues that can come up is it's still using knob and tube wiring. Having a fairly up-to-date electrical system is important. We've been using Romex wire for decades, but we still see a little steel case, a little fiber case, and those are fine. It's just when you have exposed wires, that can be an issue, or breaker panels that are just, rusty or double tapped, and those types of things. As long as we're on mechanical things, plumbing. Yeah. Old houses have iron pipes. the drains might be corroding and working slowly. There's rust building up or there's roots. But plumbing gets to be a big thing because it's expensive. It runs through your walls just like wiring does, but it deteriorates over time. Now, in today's world, we use PEX, which, that's plastic.
Yeah.
So we're going to have a longer life expectancy out of that. Furnaces are a problem. I can't tell you how many times somebody comes to me and said, well, the furnace is this old. That was that old the day you looked at the house. So It's something that's easily identifiable, like a water heater in the plumbing. You can walk right up to it, typically find the date or look at it and know.
You can tell sometimes just by looking.
Yep.
And a lot of these things are things that really shouldn't derail a deal, but if you don't know ahead of time, if you weren't paying attention ahead of time, and then you discover this along the way, and that's what causes a problem, that's where things can get kind of spooky, like we were talking about.
Well, exactly. The home inspection, and while a home inspection doesn't have a huge amount of leverage, it's very important because that's what's going to give the buyer some peace of mind. And you need that peace of mind whether you're the buyer or the seller.
Absolutely.
Because if that buyer gets cold feet based off of something, now it's going to be a harder game.
If somebody listening is in the position to become a buyer or a seller, and it's time for them to reach out and talk to you, how do they get a hold of you, sir?
605-310-0297.
Again, Brent Baker has been our guest today. He is with Clients First Group. You can also find him online at clientsfirstgroup.com.
How much do you pay for your wireless phone? Some people spend hundreds of dollars every month for their family. That's crazy! Mint Mobile offers premium wireless for just $15 a month. Not 50, 15, 1-5. Yeah, $15 a month for premium wireless. It's time for a Mintervention from Mint Mobile. You can keep your same phone number. You may even be able to keep your same phone. Find out now at Mintervention.com. Learn more and sign up today at Mintervention.com. Premium wireless for just $15 a month at Mintervention.com. That's Mintervention.com.
And now stuff Dan finds interesting.
It is time for Stuff Dan Finds Interesting. Dan, what do you find interesting on this spooky Halloween Monday?
And that's it. It is Halloween Monday. But you know what? The Halloween stuff's been going on for like almost all of October.
Yeah, a lot of
Haunted House open. You got corn maze, you got stuff, and you got Trunk or Treat and all these organizations. Trunk or Treat here, come here, come here.
Fun stuff.
Yeah, it used to be back in the day, man. Halloween was Halloween.
Yeah.
And that's what
One
you
day.
got.
It was it.
And it either worked out or it didn't.
Right.
Yeah.
Whatever. But tonight, I guess, kids still go around banging on doors, right?
Yeah.
Not as much as they used to, certainly.
Certainly not as much as they used to. Our last home that we were in, we would hardly ever get any kids at all.
Well, part of that is because they knew we're cheapskates.
Well,
Would
plus,
you like half a Tootsie Roll?
you'd be so self-contained anymore. Like, trunk and treats become a big deal.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Fishing out of trunks of vehicles for stuff.
Yeah.
It's like a thing now.
Yeah.
Which is probably not a good idea to encourage children to approach vehicles that are offering candy.
Out of the trunk.
Yeah.
Kinda
We
seems
used
like
to
a
be
bad
told
idea.
to steer away from that.
Yes, we
Here we
did.
are. Especially the window vans with drapes.
Just seems a little backwards to me.
I kind of
but
want to
whatever.
take one of those out and do trunk or treat now.
Why is that man wearing a trench coat in August? I don't know.
And he's got a puppy.
And Skittles.
Wow.
What's the biggest candies? What's the big deal? It changes a little bit year to year.
Yep.
But for instance, according to people who know this stuff, based on Google search volumes and Rite Aid sales, this year fully 23 states out of the 50, 23 prefer Snickers.
Oh, really?
Okay.
South Dakota's one of them.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go for
I
the
like a
Snickers.
good Snickers.
The Snickers bar. It's hard, it's hard
like
to battle a
frozen.
Snickers bar.
I agree.
Frozen Snickers is the best.
Then, going down the list, Kit Kat and Hershey come in second this year with 6 states loving Kit Kats,
I love them.
5 states loving Hershey's chocolate bars.
I love those too.
So really, the chocolate's the big deal. You do like
yeah.
the top 5, 10 candies?
Oh,
whatever,
yeah.
almost all of them are
You got to have
chocolate-based.
chocolate. Yeah.
Chocolate-based. Okay, what ain't going so well? Well, we've got some other states. Indiana apparently is the only state that prefers Butterfingers. I used to be a big fan. I think
I
they
love
changed the
them.
recipe. I
It is
think
a little
they did.
different.
It is a little different,
You
yeah.
know, the only ones you can get that taste the same are the ones that are in the movie theater box.
Oh, yeah.
The little square ones.
Those are the
Those
same.
taste the same as
That's
they
because
used
they made
to.
one batch of those 27 years ago, and they've never sold them all.
Probably.
The Tootsie Roll still remains pretty popular in a number of states, including Arizona, Florida, Georgia, North Carolina, South Carolina. So down south, the Tootsie Roll's a big deal. Milky Ways, which I'm a fan.
Yeah,
I'm a
me
fan.
too.
Is actually the most coveted in Colorado, Connecticut, and Idaho. Kentucky, Louisiana, both go for Three Musketeers. So there you go. Least popular candy searches include the Baby Ruth bar.
Oh,
And
see,
this
I
one-
love the Baby Ruth.
This one surprised me. The Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. See, I think they'd be in. I would think
Really?
they
I
would be in the
think
top
that
5.
Probably because of peanut allergies and.
But I think Reese's Pieces are still huge, but not the peanut butter
Huh.
cup.
That's insane.
100 grand bars are not a big deal.
Oh,
I like
love
those.
Crunch bars are not.
Of
Almond
course,
Joys.
pretty much anything chocolate, I'm gonna like it. So.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
And paydays.
Yeah.
Those are peanut based
Peanut.
too, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
They're
right.
all good. I like all of these, Dan.
Well, no, you can put up a fight for all of this stuff. I'm just talking what's
What's
we're-
the most
We're
popular.
basically talking sales volume
Yeah,
here.
yeah.
What's going on? So, just thought I'd share that. I remember when I was a kid, there was a whole different ball game. You certainly didn't have as many candies to choose from, but there was a woman in the neighborhood. I forget her name, man. Anyway, it was like homemade stuff. Parents were perfectly okay with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Popcorn
can't
balls?
do that now.
Popcorn balls.
Popcorn balls
You
were a
had homemade
huge
popcorn
thing.
balls.
Like some
Yeah.
Rice Krispie treats.
Yeah, you'd go to her door
Yeah.
and she'd have, just sheet pans full of
Yeah.
these and I think they were in like wax paper or something
Yep.
Yeah.
like that.
You can't do that stuff anymore. You probably weren't supposed to do that stuff back then, but
No.
nobody could, put a tweet out and tell everybody about it, so you were safe.
Yeah, and you got to be careful. Hey, Mom and Dad, you know the drill. Check the kids' bags.
That's right. Check
Yeah,
the
I was-
candy.
Take your 10% cut off the top and go from there.
I always would start with the, Snickers and Reese's and make sure those were good first. And I was like, yeah, these are good, so the rest of your stuff is probably fine.
It's not really
go
the way
ahead
it
and eat
works, but that's okay.
That's how I did it. Our kids made it. Did you do that, Dan?
I'm sorry, I wasn't listening to a word you said, John.
All right. Nice having you. Are you done then?
Ask me again.
No, it's fine. Are you finished?
Oh, now he's mad at me.
No, it's fine. Just ignore me, Dan. I'll ignore you too.
I was trying to find a candy corn reference here. I was a little sidetracked. So what was the question? I'll give you.
No, there's no question.
Oh,
I'm done.
He was
boy.
wondering if you had to check your kids' candy, but probably not.
Don't repeat anything for the old man. It's
Oh,
if you didn't
Oh, that was painful.
yikes!
hear it, I'll get him a hearing aid so he can hear it next time. Hey, what was that, Sonny?
Holy cow!
Jeez,
All right. Did you?
brutal, man. What
You were
the
saying something
heck?
about candy corn? We had our first on-air spat.
Yes. Lucas Sadie's baby. Every P. Yep, I would check every P. Yes.
Yes, you got to do
I
it.
did. Yes.
Because if you don't, that just means you don't care about your kids. You got to check them. Got to make sure they're good. So
Okay, that answers your question.
You can also, I think, the emergency room, or not the emergency rooms, but isn't
Emergency
there somewhere
rooms.
where you can take them where they're X-ray it?
Are
free?
you serious?
who does that?
To make sure there's no razors. At least when our kids were little, they would offer that. You can take it and they would scan it to make sure there was no metal in the candy.
Maybe use
Really?
a magnet or something.
Yeah.
I'm not sure. I've never heard of that. If anybody knows, you have to let me know. Send me a message.
Yeah,
I'll
I don't
post
know
it
if
on
that's still a
Facebook.
thing, but it was when our kids were little. You could take it to the hospital and they would check the candy for your kids.
What a crazy world,
Yeah,
man.
people walking in asking.
Will you check this?
Excuse me, I have a man here with a flesh wound.
Yeah.
Let's take care of him
As long
first.
as I'm here, does this look infected to you?
We'll get to your Snickers in a minute, lady.
Jeez.
Again, I don't know if that's still a thing, but it was when our
It's
kids
fun
were
to
little
just say
in
stuff.
Iowa.
It is fun to just say stuff.
Dan, thanks for coming in.
Hey, no kidding,
This is the
man.
weirdest Monday we've ever had.
My pleasure. I just have to say, in all sincerity, I can't be out of here soon enough.
It is the John and Heidi Show bonus hour with Dan Ferris.
In good times and not so good times, it's a good idea to be responsible when it comes to spending. At bettercreditcards.com, we're excited to see our friends like you get a better credit card to fit your needs. Some people like cards with the lowest possible interest rate. Others like cards with no annual fee. And some people like cards with points and perks to take advantage of all the extras available. Whatever you're looking for, we hope you find it at bettercreditcards.com. Give yourself a little credit. Bettercreditcards.com.
Here's your Market Beat Minute for Monday, October 31st, 2022. The rebound in equities picked up steam Friday following better-than-expected news. Better than expected is really all that can be said about the news, however, because the PCE price index accelerated on a year-over-year basis at the headline and core levels. The news is a dead weight for the S&P 500 earnings and points to another aggressive 75 basis point interest rate hike from the FOMC in the coming week. The news that nobody's talking about is the outlook for earnings. While the earnings reports last week were better than expected, the margin of outperformance was very tepid, and the forecast for the next quarter got worse. The consensus figure for Q4 2022 earnings growth has the S&P 500 hovering near 0.5% and on track to fall below 0% before the start of the reporting season. Worse, the consensus figures for next year are in the same decline and suggest there will be little to no earnings growth in calendar year 2023. You could get the inside track from Wall Street's brightest minds delivered directly to your inbox every day at marketbeatminute.com.